Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Ryan. Whether this is your first time tuning in or you've been with us for a while, welcome back to Speak Up. This podcast is made just for you, especially if you're someone who wants to speak English more clearly and confidently. Today's topic is something a lot of learners struggle with, pronunciation. But don't worry, we're going to break it down in a way that's easy, fun, and useful from home.
Hey everyone, I'm Priya. I know many of you are working, studying, or managing a busy life. And still, you're trying to improve your English. That's amazing. Today we're diving into the secret to perfect English pronunciation at home. You don't need expensive classes or fancy software, just a few smart steps, and we'll show you how.
We've got some powerful practical tips coming your way. You'll learn how to train your mouth, how to hear sounds better, and how to speak more clearly without leaving your house. And trust me, there's one method in today's episode that really changed the game for me when I was learning another language.
So if you've ever said, I know the word, but I just can't pronounce it right, this episode is for you. Stick around because we'll reveal simple techniques that actually work. And yes, there's a trick at the end that you'll wish you knew earlier. Let's jump in.
So now that we've introduced the topic and warmed up a bit, let's dive into something that really sets the tone. Why English pronunciation matters more than most people realize. I mean, think about it. You could know 1,000 English words, maybe even more. But if someone can't understand you when you speak, then it's like those words are locked away inside your head. That's frustrating, right? Especially when you're trying to connect with people at work, school, or just in daily life.
Exactly. And I've seen this happen so many times. A learner understands everything. They have the vocabulary, they know the grammar, but when it comes to speaking, they hesitate. Why? Because they're worried. They think, what if I say it wrong? Or, what if people don't get what I mean? That fear holds people back. And honestly, pronunciation isn't about sounding perfect. It's about being clear. That's what makes a real difference.
Yes, clear communication. That's the goal. We're not saying you need a British or American accent. What matters is whether people can follow what you're saying. If your pronunciation makes your words confusing, it doesn't matter how smart you are. In job interviews especially, it can hurt your chances. If the person can't understand you, they may think you're not ready, even if you are qualified. That's tough, but it's real.
And that's why learning English at home is actually a great starting point. You're in a comfortable space, no pressure, no judgment. You can practice freely and focus just on how things sound. And over time, that gives you confidence. When you know how to pronounce things properly, you don't freeze when it's your turn to speak. You actually want to talk more.
Right. And it's those small wins that build confidence, like finally saying comfortable the right way after getting it wrong for months, or realizing you can say world without stumbling. It feels so good when someone understands you right away. That kind of moment motivates you to keep going. It's not about perfection, it's about progress.
I love that. Progress over perfection. And the best part? Anyone can improve their English pronunciation. You don't need expensive classes. You just need the right methods, the right mindset, and a bit of consistency. If you've ever said, I know the word, but I just can't say it right, then don't worry, you're not alone. And you're definitely not stuck. You can fix it, you really can.
Now that we've talked about why pronunciation matters so much, let's get into what actually helps improve it. And honestly, it all starts with listening. A lot of people jump straight into speaking, but if you're not hearing the sounds correctly, how can you say them right? Listening is the foundation of great pronunciation. The more you listen to native English speakers, the more your ears and brain start to pick up on how English really sounds, not just how it looks on paper.
That's so true. I always tell learners, before you speak, you need to hear, and not just once or twice. You've got to expose yourself to natural English every day. Watch YouTube videos with subtitles. Listen to English podcasts on your commute. It doesn't have to be serious all the time. Even watching your favorite English movie or TV show can help your brain recognize patterns, rhythm, and stress in real conversations.
Exactly. And here's a tip that works wonders. Repeat what you hear. Don't just listen passively. Choose a short clip from a podcast, maybe just 1 or 2 sentences, Play it, pause it, and repeat the exact same words in the same rhythm. This is called shadowing. It's one of the best English pronunciation practices out there. You start sounding more natural just by mimicking what real speakers are saying.
And you know what makes it even better? Add recording to it. Listen, repeat, record. Then play your voice back and compare it to the original. That's a game changer. Sometimes you don't notice mistakes until you hear yourself. And it might feel strange at first, but recording helps you improve so much faster. We'll go deeper into that technique a little later, but just keep it in mind for now.
It's amazing how quickly your pronunciation improves once you start doing this regularly. And again, it doesn't have to take hours. 10 minutes of focused listening a day is more powerful than just memorizing word lists. You're training your ear, and that's what builds a strong foundation for speaking clearly.
So true. And the cool thing is, you don't need a classroom or a teacher right next to you. Your phone and your earphones are enough. Just choose the right audio, stay consistent, and be active while listening. That one habit, really listening, can take your English pronunciation from okay to amazing, even from home.
Now that we've understood how listening shapes pronunciation, let's talk about something people often forget. Your mouth is a muscle. Just like in the gym, if you don't train it, it won't perform well. When native speakers talk, they're not just using their brain, they're using their lips, tongue, and jaw in very specific ways. That's why pronunciation isn't just about knowing the sound. It's about training your mouth to make that sound. Mouth exercises for English are real, and they help more than you might think.
Absolutely. Think of it like this. If you've never done push-ups, your arms won't move the right way. Same with English. If your mouth hasn't practiced certain positions, it won't know what to do. For example, the tia sound in think is super different from s in sink. Stick your tongue out slightly and blow air. That's how you get that soft the sound. It feels weird at first, but that's how native speakers do it every day without even thinking.
One great way to start training is by exaggerating vowel sounds. Say the word apple slowly. Open your mouth wider than usual. Apple. You'll feel your jaw move. Try orange. Try ear. Make those shapes on purpose. It might feel silly, but these are real mouth exercises for English that help you speak clearly. Just 5 minutes a day makes a difference. You're building muscle memory, just like athletes do when they train.
Here's another practical tip. Use real English words as drills. Pick tricky ones like world, three, rhythm, or mirror. Say them slowly and focus on your lip and tongue placement, then say them faster. This is how you get your mouth used to speaking English clearly without stumbling. And trust me, once your mouth is trained, it becomes automatic. You won't even think about it.
Yeah, and a good trick is to stand in front of the mirror when you practice. Watch how your mouth moves. Is your tongue coming out when you say th? Are you rounding your lips for words like go or no? Little details like this change how clearly people hear you. And the best part? You don't need any special tools, just your face, your focus, and 5 minutes.
And remember, it's okay if it feels awkward in the beginning. That's normal. But over time, your mouth gets used to those movements. Suddenly, you'll find yourself speaking English with more clarity, more flow, and less hesitation. You're not just learning sounds, you're building the physical habit of speaking English well. Like we said, train like an athlete, and the results will show.
So, we've trained our ears by listening, and we've stretched those mouth muscles. But now it's time for something most learners skip: recording yourself. Honestly, it's a total game changer. If you want to seriously practice English at home, grab your phone, hit record, and speak. Sounds simple, right? But when you play it back, you'll hear things you never noticed. You might realize you're missing a sound or stressing the wrong syllable. That's how improvement starts, by hearing yourself the way others do.
Exactly. And the best part, you don't need fancy equipment. Your phone or a free recording app is more than enough. Pick a short sentence from a podcast or video, then record yourself saying it. After that, listen to both versions, yours and the native speakers. Do they sound similar? Where do they feel different? This step gives you the power to self-correct. You're not just guessing, you're learning through real comparison.
And here's what to listen for: clarity, stress, and intonation. Does your voice go up and down like the native speakers? Are your words too flat or too fast? When you record your voice in English and really pay attention, you start noticing small things that make a big difference. Maybe your T sounds are too sharp, or you're skipping sounds at the end of words. Fixing just one of these can instantly make your pronunciation clearer.
It's also a confidence booster. The first few times you hear yourself, you might feel a little awkward, but then you'll start to hear progress. That's motivating. And if you want to take it up a notch, you can even try apps like ELSA Speak or Speechling. These use AI to show exactly where your pronunciation needs help. It's like having a mini pronunciation coach in your pocket. Totally worth trying if you're serious about getting better.
I love that. And it goes back to what we've said all along. You don't need to travel abroad or spend tons of money. If you practice English at home with your ears, your mouth, and recordings, you're doing more than most learners out there. This step is where everything starts to connect. You hear the mistake, feel the correction, and finally sound the way you imagined.
That's the magic. When you can record yourself, play it back, and say, wow, I actually sound clear now, it builds so much confidence. You're not just hoping you're saying it right, you know it. And that's the real secret to improving English pronunciation from home. Stay with us, because in the next segment, we're going to talk about something fun and powerful, how rhythm and stress shape natural English speech.
Now that we've talked about recording yourself and really hearing how you sound, let's take it one step deeper, into something that separates flat English from natural English: stress and intonation. These two things are like the music of English. Have you ever said something and it just didn't sound right, even though the words were correct? It's probably because of word stress or sentence rhythm. For example, think about the word present. If you say present, it's a noun. If you say present, it becomes a verb. Same spelling, completely different sound.
Yes, and this is what makes English so tricky but fun to master. English word stress gives each word a certain beat or emphasis, just like in music. Native speakers naturally stress certain syllables or words, and that's what gives English its rhythm. If you stress the wrong part, it can confuse the listener or change the meaning completely. Try saying, I didn't say you stole it, and stress a different word each time. The meaning changes with every stress. That's why getting used to English sentence rhythm is a game changer.
And intonation. That's how your voice rises or falls when you speak. Questions usually rise at the end. Are you coming? But a statement usually falls, I'm coming. It's subtle, but powerful. If you get the intonation wrong, your English might sound robotic or confusing. A big tip? When you watch shows or listen to podcasts, don't just focus on the words. Listen to the music of their voices. Where does it rise? Where does it fall? That's the pattern you want to pick up.
Right, and here's a super practical way to practice. Take a simple sentence like, what are you doing today? First, listen to how a native speaker says it. Notice how the voice rises in doing and falls in today. Then repeat it with the same tone. You can even record yourself doing it. Over time, you'll start feeling that natural rhythm. You won't need to think about it. It'll just come out that way. That's how you start sounding more fluent, not just accurate.
And don't rush it. Even native speakers develop this rhythm over years of listening and repeating. You're building a new habit and it takes time. Start with short phrases like, I don't know, or let me see. These everyday expressions are gold for rhythm practice. They're short, common, and full of natural stress and tone. The more you repeat them correctly, the more automatic your speaking becomes.
Exactly. Think of it like learning a song. You hum the tune before you know the lyrics, right? Same with English. Let your ear guide you, then let your voice catch up. Mastering stress and intonation is a big step towards sounding like a native. And next, we'll show you how to bring all these skills together with real conversations and shadowing. That's where everything starts clicking.
Now that we've unlocked the rhythm and stress of English, let's bring it all together with one of the most powerful tools out there, the shadowing method. If you've never heard of it, it's super simple and super effective. Basically, you listen to a native speaker and try to speak along with them at the same time, like a shadow. That's why it's called shadowing. It helps train your mouth, your ears, and your brain all at once. If you're serious about speaking fluent English, this is one of the fastest ways to sound more natural.
Exactly. And the best part, you don't need a classroom or a teacher. Just your phone, some headphones, and a short video or audio clip. You can use a YouTube video, a podcast, anything with clear pronunciation. The trick is to choose something short, maybe 10 to 15 seconds, and repeat it over and over. Start by just listening, then read along, and finally shadow the voice. You'll notice your pronunciation, rhythm, and confidence go up fast.
All right, let's actually try it together right now. I'm going to say a simple sentence in a natural, slow pace. First, just listen. Here we go. I'm going to grab some coffee. Did you hear the rhythm? Now let's say it together slowly. I'm going to grab some coffee. One more time, a bit faster. I'm going to grab some coffee. There you go. That's how shadowing works. Copy the sound, not the spelling.
I love that. And here's another one, just for practice. Ready? Listen to this sentence. What time does the movie start? Hear how my voice goes up on what time and falls at start? Okay, now say it with me. What time does the movie start? Let's do it once more, a bit quicker. What time does the movie start? This is how you train your ears to pick up natural sentence rhythm and your voice to match it. Over time, your fluency improves without you even realizing it.
And don't worry if you can't keep up right away. That's normal. You can pause, rewind, and slow down any video or audio. It's not about being perfect. It's about building the habit. The shadowing method in English is like singing along to a song. At first, it's clumsy, but after a few tries, it flows. Just 10 minutes a day can make a massive difference in how confident you sound.
Totally. And if you've been shy about speaking out loud, this is a safe way to build fluency. No one's watching, no pressure, just you and your voice learning together. In the next part, we'll wrap up this pronunciation journey by showing you how to build a daily plan that fits your routine and keeps your progress going strong. So stay with us, it's the final piece of the puzzle.
Finally, let's talk about the most important part of improving your pronunciation: building a daily routine. We've covered a lot today, but here's the key takeaway. Consistency is what really helps you get better at English pronunciation, not perfection. You don't need hours of practice each day. Just 15 minutes daily is all it takes to start seeing results. I'm going to walk you through a simple routine you can easily fit into your day. Ready? Let's dive in.
All right, let's break it down. Here's a 15-minute daily English practice routine to keep your progress on track. First, start with 5 minutes of listening and repeating. Choose a short video or podcast and listen carefully to a sentence or two. Then, repeat it out loud, matching the rhythm and stress we've talked about. Don't just focus on the words. Listen to the intonation and the natural flow of the sentence. This step helps your brain adjust to the sounds and rhythm of native English.
Next, we move on to 5 minutes of mouth exercises. This part is essential for getting your mouth used to forming new sounds. Exaggerate your vowel sounds, practice tricky consonants like the th sound in think, or make sure your tongue is in the right place. You don't need to be perfect here. Just focus on being aware of how you're moving your mouth. If you can make those sounds easily, you're one step closer to speaking clearly.
And finally, spend 5 minutes recording and shadowing. Record yourself speaking or shadowing a native speaker's audio. Then listen to your recording and compare it to the original. Pay attention to the stress, intonation, and clarity. Can you hear the difference? If so, try to self-correct by adjusting your rhythm or stress. Over time, this will help you sound more natural and fluent. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about small improvements every day.
And here's the secret to success. Consistency is key. Don't get discouraged if you don't see huge changes right away. Stick with this routine for a couple of weeks, and you'll start noticing improvements in how confident you feel when you speak English. You won't just be speaking the words, you'll be speaking clearly, confidently, and naturally.
Absolutely. The more consistent you are, the more comfortable you'll feel speaking English. And the best part? It only takes 15 minutes a day. It's something that can easily fit into your routine, no matter how busy you are. So, start today. And don't worry about getting everything perfect. Just keep practicing and enjoy the journey.
Well, that wraps up today's episode of the Speak Up podcast. We hope you found these tips helpful and that you're excited to start working on your pronunciation. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Yes, thank you. We're so glad you joined us, and we can't wait to hear how your English improves. Keep practicing, and we'll see you next time.